Let's pop the top. Shannon's back, and I already started drinking because I'm a bad person, but I knew you would open it for us.
Did you miss me?
No, just kidding.
Welcome
Of course
back.
I did. You are the true drunk wife of
Thank
Drunk
you.
Wives Club. We
Welcome
couldn't do it
back.
without you. She's back from her stressful week of having a birthday, working like a crazy person, and being a mom. And a drunk mom. And a
Yeah,
drunk wife. But
Oh.
not when you're being a mom,
right. That's
if that makes sense.
yeah, you can't do all of those things at one time. It's called balance.
Yeah. So
It's
tell
not.
us about your birthday week.
Well, I'm just gonna like skip to the weekend because the whole week itself wasn't the best. But I was supposed to hang out with Jess and Missy on Sunday, and I bailed because I am who I am. And
You know, I will say I feel like our friend group though is okay with people bailing, because when you bailed, I was like, well, in that case, I'm gonna go to the casino and I'm not even upset about it.
I was honest, I texted you at 6:50 in the morning.
Yeah, I was surprised you were awake.
Well, I wasn't feeling the best. So,
But you were honest. You were just a little hungover and you couldn't drink again. Although you should have had hair of the dog.
well, I just really didn't pick one thing to stick with on my birthday. So, that was my problem. I told myself that I was only going to do liquor, which, as you guys know, is very not like me.
What kind of liquor? Vodka?
Didn't matter. I wasn't going that crazy of just say one thing.
Wow, what a day you had.
No, it was actually really fun, and there was no original plan. There was kind of a plan, and then kind of just like went and saw how it went. And then I started with a high noon, which is like totally normal for me. But then we went to Elvez in the city, and they have amazing margaritas. And so I knew when I got the high noon that, which actually Mark came in clutch because I was gonna get a beer, even though I told myself I wasn't gonna drink beer. I didn't last very long, and then he saw that they had high noons, so he got me a high noon. So he actually like kind of helped me and start off right, and then had a high noon. Then I had two margaritas. Then I went somewhere else and I had another tequila drink, saying like, okay, I'm gonna stick
on the right path.
Yes. And I was like, I'm going to stick with tequila. And I was like, really about it.
Said no one ever.
I know, but we've talked about this. I love tequila and I thought there was nothing wrong with it. And the drinks were really good. So I was like, I'll just keep doing this. We were gonna go to one more place, and they had a beer that I haven't been able to find in 10 years. And I got it. And it was 10%.
Oh my God.
And so that's
well, no wonder.
and then
you were hungover.
then that really gave me the courage to just make more dumb decisions. And then I had a gingerbread espresso martini.
So you went from a high noon to margaritas to a 10% beer to a martini.
Yeah.
My stomach hurts for you.
It wasn't my favorite. I will say though.
Did you get the McSpins?
No, I didn't. I really felt fine the whole night. I did realize that my mom was watching my son, and I like thought I was totally fine and really not intoxicated at all, which is
That's how we always think.
yeah, that's really something. But I was talking to her for like an hour, which is probably a dead giveaway. Like when I used to live with her after college, like I would come home and pretend I was totally fine, and then I would speak a mile a minute like this for an hour, and I would just be like, no, she can't tell. She can't tell that I'm drinking.
Fine.
But I would not stop talking, and I did the same thing. And I realized like we started off talking about something, and then I like 40 minutes later said the same thing, and I was like, oh, okay. I repeated, and I was like, maybe I'm not sober. But I will say, did not feel good in the morning at all. Definitely because of everything that I mixed, which I said I would not do.
But you drank a liquid IV before you went to bed, right?
I drank half of one because it was disgusting.
Which one?
I don't know. I don't know.
Taught you nothing about not being hungover.
No, I mean, I think that helped me, but I couldn't drink the whole thing. So then I just switched back to water. But I got fresh air after I texted you guys because I walked our dog, and I felt a lot better. I mean, I definitely like needed a nap and could not have drank and like, you know, been a functioning adult with other people around me. But Brady makes it like really not an option.
Yeah,
You kind of just gotta suck it up.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's possible to be fully hungover with a kid.
Oh no, it's
Like,
definitely more possible to be even more hungover with a child because they sit on you. He literally sat on me and I was like, great, this is making my stomach feel so good. I don't want to throw up at all.
well,
It's
I'm
great.
actually shocked you did not throw up.
No, I really,
You were just
I was really
ill.
tired. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
tired and my stomach hurt because of the mixing, not like the amount that I drank. But for anybody that is listening that really likes beer and like follows beer, I found Pliny the Younger, which is like almost impossible to find and sells out at places within like 2 hours of it being
Yeah, I was gonna ask
available.
what the beer is.
It's from Russian River in California.
Is it a stout?
No, I actually like don't know what it
Does
is.
it taste like a 10% beer?
No, it was so
Ooh.
good. I don't regret the decision because it was really good and I really probably won't be able to find it again for years. So I don't regret the decision, but that's definitely what made me make the other bad decision of a martini.
Was a martini worth it?
No, that was not good. That was the only drink I had that was not good all night.
Well, you
But
win some, you
after
lose
the
some.
10% beer, I really didn't care, so it was fine.
When you were making these decisions, was anybody like, you may regret this later?
No,
What great friends. I need supportive friends like that.
I mean, it was Scott, my brother, and my sister-in-law, and Mark. So Mark, I told Mark that we should split the beer, and he said, no way, we're getting our own. And I was like, that's how I know I married the
right
man.
one.
Mhm.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's a great birthday.
It was.
You needed it.
I did, yes, I did. It was fun. It was really fun. And now I'm like, a couple of days later, officially not hungover anymore. So
Yeah,
all
once
is
you
well.
pass 30, it takes you a bit to recover from a hangover. Like if anybody is on the Love is Blind kick that are on, a recent episode, I will not really give anything away, but somebody said, and he is above 30, they went out at 10:45 and did not get home till 5 a.m. And I was like, who in their right mind past the age of 30 goes out at 11 p.m.? That's when I like to be home.
I'm stuck on the 5:45 in the morning. Like I get up at 6:30 every morning.
And like, there's just many questions.
I know we can't give it too much away because of people that may have not watched it all yet or is waiting until it all comes out to watch it, which is sometimes what I do. I will say, I think a couple of episodes ago I said I will not watch this, and I still never watched season 5. I heard it was horrible.
Yeah,
No,
it wasn't good.
yeah, you watched the whole thing, and I said I won't do it because it sounded so bad. And for some reason, I watched the season and I am hooked.
Well, I watched it because the one person is local-ish. So I needed to watch. And the weekend Anthony and I were in
Who's local?
the guy from
Oh,
yeah, you know that
Matthew.
guy. Yeah,
Yes.
Matthew. But when Anthony and I were in Philly for Valentine's Day weekend, we went out to dinner on Friday. And after he's like, do you want to go to another bar or something? And I was like, no, I want to go home and watch Love is Blind because I need to know what happens with this guy. And he said he did not like that show, but guess who is waiting for the next episodes to come out? Anthony. He is hooked. They're all hooked. Every spouse who says they don't like Love is Blind, I don't believe you.
Mark has watched every episode.
Yes, you just get sucked in. You can't not.
I know. It's crazy. It's really something. Really something. Also, did we talk about how your like Valentine's Day weekend was in Philly? I don't think we
I
did.
don't think we did either. It was actually pretty fun, but I didn't realize how not exciting Philly is as we live so close. Because we went for the weekend and I was like, well, this is fun. What do we do? We actually ended up going to the circus on Saturday night because I am a secret circus lover. I love the freaking big tops that come to Oaks and everything.
You
And, like,
do?
I go to every one.
I love that.
I just think circus performers, they may be weird because they're in the circus, but I think they're so talented.
You're thinking of Carnival. They're different.
The big top ones?
No, like you're thinking of, this is obviously a stereotype, but like weird people. You're thinking of
like
carnivals.
carnies.
Like the circus people
Yeah.
are not the carnies might not be, but the circus people are really talented.
Because it was the Ringling Brothers Circus, And then I texted Shannon because I was like, Anthony, I have to go to the bathroom. And I was just walking around because the circus was at Wells Fargo Center. And I'm like, I wonder if their alcohol stands are open. And it sure was. And Anthony, I came back and he's like, where the hell did you get that high noon pounder? And I was like, do you want some? It was great.
Wasn't it like $30?
Yeah, it was freaking 26.
Was it worth it though?
It's always worth it to
Yeah.
get a high noon pounder. They're kind of hard to drink though.
They're kind of hard to drink, but I really like the taps that are on them. Like you
Yeah, I
get the
do too.
tabs that are on them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great though. I mean, but Philly, I don't know, there's just not a lot to do.
I had a great time.
It's fun.
I found it. That's where I was for my birthday. I had a good time.
Yeah, it's fun if you're drinking, but if you're not like drinking during the day, there's not a ton to do.
There is. I think we have to try again.
Yeah, I don't want to do the tourist crap though, or a museum.
Okay, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm wrong.
See?
I'm not sure.
Unless we're like pretending we're from the outside.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I do want to piggyback off of like a few things that were talked about on the episode that I was not on, but I really want to get to our topic because I feel like we're going to be talking about it for a while. So we'll get to like my thoughts on some of the other stuff that we talked about that you guys talked about.
She
from
has
last
to
week.
open her phone because she took notes, because our topic today is red flags. And you know, I love a good red flag. I actually love, my new thing is texting people the emoji red flag. If they piss me off, I just text them that little emoji, especially to my brother Blair. I like to text him that a lot.
I was gonna say, I luckily have not gotten that yet.
Yeah, my friends are not red flags, but some others are.
I feel like we could be.
But we came up with this topic last night, and Shannon was like, I don't know about any red flags. And then she texted me after and said, I have 9.
I do. I was just like thinking about, I actually said, I am the red flag.
And then as you said that, I was like, are we the red flags?
I know. I really like came up with some red flags that like, I think it'll be good to talk about some of our experiences with red flags. But in some of these circumstances, like I was the red flag.
Yeah, I could agree with that because
Most I wasn't, but
we are psycho. But also, I think red flags not just in relationships, but like with friendships.
Yeah.
I've seen some red flags that I usually ignore red flags.
yeah,
But
most people do.
do you want to start or should I start? I'm scared.
You can start with one. I mean, I
Okay.
have many, so I can go first as long as.
So my first red flag, actually what we were just talking about, if you are dating someone, and this is just from my personal psycho experience, I've dated people that have stayed out past 2 a.m. and have not contacted me while they were out, and I think that is fishy AF.
Is it like they do it one time or they do it often?
No, it was often.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, I know they're probably out doing something, but it's just one of those things you ignore.
Yeah, which means they probably had more red flags than just that one.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if it was us staying out till 2 a.m., I don't think our husbands would care because.
Well, we wouldn't.
That's true. We would not do that. But that was my first red flag.
Okay, that's a good one. I have one that's like similar to that. So I said that this is like kind of a college thing, I would say, but then I tried to branch it out like a little bit. That if like they went to like too many parties like without you, or like they went out without you, like more than you went together. So it's like you don't have to go to places like all the time, but it's basically like if they never want to be with you, but then also the opposite, they never want to be without you. I think both of those things are red flags.
That is a good one. I could agree with that. My college boyfriend, who we all know, his name starts with S and ends with Andy. So he did that a lot, and we all know how that turned out. So that is a true red flag.
Yeah, I think it's just probably, and a lot of it is, and we should preface like these were red flags. Well, most of them were red flags that we've like experienced or stemmed from things that we have experienced. It doesn't necessarily mean some of these people were bad. They probably just like didn't want to be in a relationship and didn't know how to say it.
And we
I
were
did
young and
I
dumb.
did that multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like I am the red flag. And yeah, I think it's just like it doesn't mean that they're bad people. I think they like saw other people being in relationships and they're like, oh, that looks fun. And then they did it and they were like, oh, this is like work. I don't want to have work. So I'm just gonna like go out and ignore the problem. So like for me personally, that was actually like a red flag both ways. Like I was in a relationship and it was fine for like a while. And then all of a sudden, like always went out without me. And I was like, that's so weird. But also I didn't really like to go
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
parties.
say, you
So
could stay
for
home.
yeah, so for a long time, like I didn't think it was like that weird. But then we would always meet up like afterwards and like, would like sleep over together and that stopped happening. And that's when it was weird.
Yeah,
I'm
that's not
like,
like when you knew.
right.
I also
No.
think if you have a feeling in your gut, which my mom always said you should trust your gut, I think it's probably right. If you have a feeling something's off.
Yeah,
But
that goes into like a lot. Yeah.
so my next red flag is people who are secretive with their phones. I think is a major red flag. Like one of my boyfriends would never let me even look up something on his phone, and I'm like, ooh, is there something going on? But I'm a true psychopath, so I got the password to his computer, and it was a Mac, and it connected to his text messages, and that's how I found all the details
The
of
details.
that cheater, pumpkin eater. So, if they're not I don't know, just secretive with your phone.
So I think that's very similar. Like it's if you are always secretive of your phone, or the opposite, someone needs to see your phone at all times. Like
Yes,
that doesn't work
it's weird.
either. It's
Yeah,
basically like you want to keep everything a secret, or you're not allowed to have any personal space whatsoever.
yeah. Have you ever gone through Mark's phone? Oh my God, I thought it was gonna be no.
So I did one time, but it was not. No, okay.
Does he know?
No,
Now he knows.
no, I did. And this is like a very Shannon thing. I did one time, and it was because he did not want to tell me something that someone said because he didn't want me to be upset. And I was my typical self and was like, well, fuck that. I want to be mad.
True.
So I looked it up when he was taking a shower.
That is similar to mine because
That was it. It was
I
nothing
went
else.
through
And I was like, oh, this is weird. I don't actually think I told him because I was like, oh yeah, you're right. It got me mad. I know why he didn't tell me.
Yeah, that was the same. Anthony's friend Mina came to visit, like basically his sister. And of course, we got in this huge fight because it was when we first started dating and I was not mentally stable. And we got in this huge fight, and I actually left and went to a bar and turned off all of my information. I think I put my phone on airplane mode so nobody could contact me. And if they tried to call me, it would just go to voicemail. And then I got home and I was like, I want to know if they were talking shit about me after she left. So then I looked at his text messages and they weren't. Mina's just like, you were wrong. Not to me, to Anthony.
Oh, was that was not the Eagles Day, was it?
No, that was a different day.
Okay,
When I
yeah.
was also not well in the head.
Yeah, I think it was like impossible for you to be communicated with.
Yeah. I don't think I answered anybody that day. I was living in the moment.
You were living in an unsafe moment. It was not smart. Actually, it's funny, I don't think that I have ever gone through anyone's phone. I think that was literally the only time I've ever done that with any person I've dated.
I can't say the same, but
Wait a second. Memory unlocked. I don't actually think that's true. Totally forgot that I had a boyfriend that cheated on me, and I think I found out that way.
Ooh, that's
But
always...
not that way. It was when Facebook was like a new thing or something like that, and she was like posting all over his wall, and I was like, I have realized, it's kind of like what your mom says. Like, I am not a jealous person. I never have been a jealous person. And the only times I have been a jealous person, there was something to be jealous about.
Oh, because it's like you knew.
Like, I'm not jealous. Like, I mean, it's just like not who I am. I'm usually pretty secure in my relationships, and I actually think there were only like 2 times when I wasn't, and one was when when he was cheating on me, and then the other one was when he just like didn't want to date me anymore, which was when he was like out all the time. So
Huh.
those were and that was only at the end of that relationship. So for a while, I was just like, okay, like live your life. I'm very
All my friends are so cool. I'm not cool. Like you, Chelsea and Missy are very like, it's fine. Like I'll find somebody else.
well, I won't. Not anymore. Not anymore.
But like when we were younger, like you guys were just so calm, and I was
Well,
not.
that's why I am the red flag though. Like, to be honest, like I didn't give a shit. Like, I cared about people a lot, but literally my next 2 red flags are like very similar to like this situation. Like, the one was if I didn't want to date them in the first place. So oh yeah.
Why is that happening?
I don't know. But if I didn't want to date them in the first place. So one time I don't know if I told this story.
I'm excited.
The
I hope
same-
it's the medieval
it
dog
is.
story.
No, it's the same guy. Same guy. That I didn't want to date him in the first place, and it was like not unknown. Like, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said no. And then I somehow, because I just didn't want that like commitment, it was the first time in my whole life, because although I am saying I didn't really like, I cared. I just
You don't
never,
want to date him. You could care
no,
not wanna
like
date
just
him.
in general, like I just was not like very good about that stuff. But for the first time, I was like, I'm not going to get in a relationship that I like don't want to be in because the person is nice or I do like them, but then it becomes like this whole thing. So it was after I graduated college and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I think I could use the time to just like
Be a
date.
single
Just
hoe.
no, just no. I mean, it was when I worked 14 hours a day. There was no time to be a hoe. No time to be a hoe. So it's like, I was like, I just don't want, I don't need that.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
want
want
that.
commitment.
So he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, what? And I was like, no. And then I ended up dating him for a year. Like, why? So that's like, I'm the red flag, and also he was just a giant red flag. But like, I'm the red flag because like if I said no and then I still did it. So it's like, what?
Yeah.
And that's not the first person I did it with. Like,
I also
ended
think I think we touched on this with Rachel. If your friends don't like the person you're dating,
I have that
it's
too.
like they see things that you don't, because sometimes you're in this bubble and you're like, oh, they're not that bad, or like some shit happened, but it's not the end of the world. And then, because I know Rachel was a huge proponent of hating all of my boyfriends, which in rightfully so. And you know, all my
And
friends
me?
hated my boyfriends, including my parents. And you know, it was just like, no, this is the person I'm going to marry. And it's like you just don't want to see what everybody else sees.
You don't want it, you don't want that. I also just wanted to say that that was like not the only time I did that. When I was in high school, somebody asked me to go to prom and I said no in junior year, and then I ended up dating him senior year, and I didn't like him then either. So it's like, I just don't know why I did that. So I think I was the red flag for a decent amount of their
It's also hard to
relationships.
say no if you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Well, yeah, I mean, I sound like not a nice person, but I just, if I care about a person, like to me when I was younger, that was like, oh, like I should date you because you're nice and I care about you. And then when we would start dating, it didn't work out most of the time because they weren't a good boyfriend. There was only one time where I had a good boyfriend and I wasn't like a good girlfriend, didn't cheat or anything, but it's like I just shouldn't have dated that person and they were my friend and then I messed that up. And so it was not my best.
Isn't it weird to think about the dating world? If we were single, we've already said this, we would not date anybody.
I just wonder if I would be the same way that I was before, where like if I started to date someone, like I wouldn't give a shit about like certain things. And I think that I would, because I just don't think I would want to like spend my time. Like now I realize how precious time is, because like we work all the time. Like we were in school. Like
Yeah.
we were having
We had
fun
so much time, and now I'm like, the free time I have, I want to do something
with
meaningful.
yeah, and with somebody that you want to spend time with.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would be that way, but I do like think about that. But to piggyback off of yours about if your friends don't like them, again, the inverse, if they don't like your friends.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because it's like most of the time we're very different, but most of the time you have friends who have similar interests, or like there's a reason why you guys are friends, especially at this age. Because again, like we just said, you want to spend your time with people you enjoy spending time with. So like if they don't like your friends, that also is a red flag. Again, not necessarily like that they're a bad person, but that you probably just don't click. Because
It also makes it miserable, because then you can't all go out together.
Correct.
You have to like separate your friend group from the person you're dating.
yeah,
Or you have to worry about if the person you're dating is going to be on their best behavior, which
Yeah.
mine never were. So yeah, it just sucks.
Mhm.
I feel like all of our friends and significant others mesh together very well.
agreed.
It's like calming.
Yeah, it's effortless.
Yeah, we don't worry about it.
I don't worry about it.
Should we?
No, there's enough to worry about in life.
That's true.
Having friends that like might not totally love my other friends, like then we just all won't hang out. We'll hang out separately. I'm not worried about
that's
it.
fine. What about red flags in friendships?
I kind of think it's similar. Like
Yeah.
if you get jealous that like you are never hanging out with somebody because they're hanging out with like other people.
Yeah,
I don't
get
know.
that. I feel like we're pretty much the same though. Like if somebody doesn't invite us somewhere, we're pretty okay with it because we'd rather stay home anyway.
Sometimes I would get like, probably not anymore, but like probably a couple years ago, I would probably be hurt if I saw like you hanging out with our similar friends and me not even being like invited, but not only if it was happening like all the time.
Yeah.
Like now you hang out with Missy sometimes without me, and I'm like, well, because you just know I wouldn't come, because trying to find the schedule. Like when you guys go, it just doesn't like work for me. You kind of already know that. So
Yeah. We have to like schedule times to hang out months in advance.
I know we never used to do that.
My other red flag, I don't know how to put this into proper terminology, because with any of my other friends, I would not care. But this girl, we have similar names. She would hang out with my boyfriend all the time and stay out till hours in the morning. And like with you or like Missy or Chelsea or Maddie, if you guys wanted to stay out with Anthony till like 3 a.m., I wouldn't think anything of it. But I was always like, this is so weird. Why are they out together all the time?
Without you.
Yeah. And then she would like bring him home at like 4 a.m. as I was like getting up to get ready for work. And that was who he was canoodling with. So
That's why you asked this question about red flags for friends. Because I was like, I don't really have red flags for friends. I just stopped being their friend. Like, I'm
yeah.
at a point now where I just don't have friends that I'm not friends with. I can be total acquaintances with people I like used to be friends with. But I was like, I don't have any real red flags.
Yeah.
Now I'm understanding where this
that
is
was my
coming
only
from.
honestly red flag with
It's hilarious. I was like, I don't really have any. I don't know
yeah.
why.
And I also think as you get older, you just want to spend time with people you like. And if you don't like them, don't spend time with them.
I agree. I do have a few more on relationships because I have now more than like 9. If we just want to.
Oh yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, so if your family doesn't vibe with them, and in parentheses,
Ooh.
you vibe with your family. Like if you don't get along with your family, then
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
also
matter.
awkward because all family functions would suck. Because you
Yeah.
would dread bringing them to the family function, and also your family would dread them coming. And you don't know what type of explosion is going to happen.
Yeah, and I just think that you have to find some type of common ground, because you don't have to know everything that they like. They don't have to know everything that you like, but if you can't find like one or two things to talk about when you occasionally see each other, like you're just gonna keep staring at each other and it's gonna be awkward and not
Yeah,
fun.
it's just awkward.
Yeah. This one's like super specific to something that also happened to me, that they talked about marriage too soon. Like they
Yeah.
were like obsessed with just wanting to find a partner. It could be anyone and not you.
Yeah, I also think if the love bomb is dropped too quickly,
That too.
is concerning, just because I feel like I take that pretty seriously, and there's no way you can know if you're like in love with somebody in a month. I don't know. I don't want to put a time limit on it, but it's also just like, well, why are they so obsessed with me so early?
Didn't you have a guy that you like talked to for 2 weeks and he told you he loved you?
Yeah, he brought me Valentine's Day chocolate and wrote me a card that said he loved me, and then introduced me to his family within 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm scared.
And then you ghosted him.
Yes, I sure did.
Love that. Love that.
But yeah, I think that's a red flag too.
Okay, I have two more. When they act differently around certain people.
Ooh, their personality
It just changes.
chameleons.
Yeah, just changes.
You know, my friend, she'll know I'm talking about her. I won't say her name though. She was dating somebody in the summer, and he was very nice when it was just us two. And then when he got around his friends, he was a completely different person. And I actually mentioned that to her. I was like, it's so weird that he's like changing how he's acting based on who he's around. Because then you never know if they're authentic or not.
You have no idea which one of their personalities
You
is
can
their
trust.
genuine personality.
And then like whoever they're hanging out with, you're like, are they going to be a different person, or are they going to be who I know?
Right.
That's a good one.
I know I thought about that one. That was one I really thought about. A lot of those just came to mind, but that one I liked a lot. Okay, here's my big one that you're gonna like totally not agree with.
I'm scared. I'm gonna open another drink. Is this what makes you a red flag?
No, it's what makes you a red flag.
Me? Oh my God, is this a personal attack on me?
No.
I'm ready.
If a person doesn't like sports,
Oh my God.
that's a personal red flag to me, not to like, and obviously that's just for a relationship because we are BFFs and you don't like sports.
I feel personally attacked by that statement, but I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll watch it, you won't understand why people like it or give a crap about it.
Yeah.
But you will watch it for the sake of hanging out with your friends that do like it. But for me, I have had relationships in the past and even friendships, not you though, but just friendships where it's like you don't have things in common. And like a big thing for me for relationships that I just realized, again, nothing against their personality or anything, but like if they didn't like sports, it was just like never gonna work. It's a huge,
Because it's a part of your life.
it's a huge thing I care about.
Yeah. And then I just think if your personalities or things you like to do don't mesh together, I just don't know how relationships work. Because if you dated somebody that hated sports, I feel like you'd be miserable. Because they would be miserable watching it, or be like, why are people so invested in this?
Yeah,
And then it would just not be a successful relationship.
Yeah, I did date somebody. So like my favorite sports are football and hockey. And so if I had to pick like one general sport, not like a Philadelphia team, but like a sport that I could watch, it would be football. And so I dated somebody who couldn't stand football, but loved hockey, was like obsessed with hockey. So that still worked because we didn't like the same teams, we liked rival teams, but like it still worked because we still had things to talk about. We also, same person that actually introduced me to craft beer. So like we definitely had similar interests. Also a person who had some of the red flags that I was mentioning. So, but it's fine. I mean, like, it's just definitely, you learn red flags as you go.
I think it's also funny to look back at everybody you've ever dated in your life and think about if you were heartbroken about somebody you were dating and you're like, why was I so upset about that? Like my first red flag, the one that started with an S, he was cheating on me with this girl who I was so jealous of because I'm like, why am I not good enough? And now that I look back on it, she went to jail. So, I mean, look, I
I
don't
mean,
know what to say. But it's like
yeah.
just so funny to look back on. You're like, I can't believe I was so distraught about that person. And just looking at where you are now, I'm like,
But
it
I
was all
think
for the
you can
best.
say that because you are happy with where you are at now. So I often wonder, like, if we weren't in a relationship that we felt comfortable in, where we really genuinely loved who we were with for who they are, we don't want them to change at all. It's like, if we weren't in that, like, would we still feel this way? I don't know.
I don't know either. That's a good point.
Like, I feel like no, because I feel like if I saw somebody and, you never want to try and compare yourself to other people, but it's hard not to, especially in this world of social media. I've actually like very much been struggling with that lately. I'm like, why does everybody's life look so perfect? Like,
But it's not.
I am the meme. I'm fine. Everything is
You're like
fine. And
that
I'm
little
like,
dog that's sitting in the office
that's what
fire.
it is. That's what it is. I'm like, that is how my life feels right now. And I'm like on social media, I'm like, why are all these people like, how is your life so perfect? It's not, but like, especially those people that you dated previously, like a lot of them would probably act like their lives are perfect. I will say a lot of my exes don't even use social media anymore at all. So like, I don't even really know what's like happening with their lives, or they just like post once a year. Like, it's really not a lot. I wish all of them well, for the most part. But it's just like
We don't.
I do for the most part. I do. They're like, I do. For the
I'm
most
very
part.
convinced.
No, I do. I wish them all well. It's just like, I think that I would obviously not be like sad that those things ended. They all ended for a reason. I broke up with the majority of those people, so maybe that's like why I feel that way. But even the ones I didn't, I'm like, well, would I be jealous of like where you're at now if I wasn't with someone? Probably not. I would just be jealous that like you had someone and I didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. I always think what I
That's
would
not
say
right,
if I
but
saw them in passing.
oh, I've seen them in passing sometimes. I'm like, hello.
Is it like that awkward grocery store hello? Like if you see somebody in the aisle, you're like,
No,
"Hey,
I'm
what's
not
up?"
gonna make it like super specific, but it's like I have a friend that's friends with one and I didn't know it. And I like, so it was like a setting, like a social setting. And I was like, hello. But it wasn't weird. It was just like, and that relationship did not end well, but it also ended so many years ago. Like so many. I don't even know how many. And so it's like, great, you're happy, I'm happy, super. But I just think what would it be like if I wasn't happy in my relationship with Mark?
Yeah.
I really do think that sometimes.
That's a good point. We would probably feel differently. But I don't know. It's been so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, we've been with Anthony and Mark for like a long time.
Yeah, this year
so-
will be 8 years.
I know.
I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, 8 years already?
I know. We never posted the picture of you from the ring camera of you being proposed to. We have to do that.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
I really want to like
I was
post
so
yours and then post mine. They're two very different engagement photos.
Yes, I feel like they describe our personalities perfectly because I'm a pain in the ass. And I remember specifically telling Anthony that night, if you're not going to propose anytime soon, you need to let me go so I can find somebody who will. And then we got home and he's like, I have the ring, you just won't leave the house. Which I
Oh
wouldn't because
my gosh, I didn't know that.
I am very direct when I'm drinking White Claw.
I was the opposite, and Mark had my ring for 17 months, and I didn't know. And I was giving him hints like 3 months only before we got engaged. I was like, I like this ring. I like this ring. He had it
The
for
whole time.
over a year.
Wait, where is that your jacket?
Yes, I know.
Shannon got the best birthday gift she could ever get because I remember Mark.
Love. The best gift I could get is love and time with my loved ones.
He texted me what he was getting you for your birthday, and I was so excited because I'm like, you're not like the type of like materialistic type person.
No,
but I was like,
literally at all.
is the best gift I could ever see Shannon getting. And then I texted her and I was like, do you love your gift? And she said she didn't take the tag off for a couple days, but she wore it every day.
I did. I wore it 4 times before I took the tag off, and I took the tag off when I went into Philly on Saturday, because I was like, if somebody sees me with this tag on, they're gonna think I stole this. And it is a Canada Goose.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yes. So
Which I never knew about Canada Goose until a couple months ago.
it's funny, I didn't know anything about Golden Goose until you started talking about how obsessed
See?
you were with them. Did you get the St. Patrick's Day ones?
No, I did not. I'm still waiting. Well, I'm hitting big at the casino again, so then I'm going to put it into my Golden Goose fund.
You better, because I really like the St. Patrick's Day ones.
But I'm not Irish.
What size shoe are you?
An 8?
Darn, we won't fit in them. I was like, I'll split them with you.
We'll share the shoe.
I don't even need the shoes. I don't need them, but I just think they're cool.
See, they are.
No, not all of them. I just think these like fancy ones that you got.
You know, I haven't even wore them yet. I'm really
You
upset.
didn't wear them?
I didn't wear them on Valentine's Day. I didn't want anybody to know. I haven't done the laces yet. I like my laces very specific, and I haven't tied them yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like this weird thing about me and shoes, you know, but we have one episode left, I think.
We do.
And I think it's going to be with Anthony and Mark.
I know we have
It has to be.
We have to coordinate it. We don't know what we're gonna talk about yet.
I think it's just gonna be so. I'm excited to see their dynamic because they're really like good with each other.
But they're also very different. Very different.
Yeah, and Anthony's like super quiet. But
Correct.
I think if I give him like a shot of whiskey beforehand, he'll be a little bit more chatty.
Well, so that's what I was gonna say, because I think we talked about this, but like, because we keep talking about how we're gonna introduce actual alcohol, like, not that we don't drink a beer or a high noon, like, we have to incorporate some type of drinking like we did with the cookie and beer pairing. Like, we have to do some stuff like that, so hopefully we'll start doing a little bit more of that in our season 2, which we have 0 details on, but hopefully we'll have them to you by next week.
Yeah, we'll figure
when
it
our
out.
final episode is, but yeah, we're gonna try and coordinate to make that happen. I'm hoping it can happen, but
It will. I'm excited
that
for it.
coordinates all 4 of our schedules, and I don't know how that's gonna work.
And it will have to be virtual, right?
I don't know.
I feel like I want to do it in person, but I don't know how we'll put all 4 people
in one camera
frame.
screen. I don't know.
But that will be the fun part of seeing everybody's dynamic together.
I know. Well, we have to think about the logistics. So
yeah, and then everybody can finally see our husbands. They are real.
They are real.
Anthony doesn't listen, but he will.
I know.
I know. He spilled those beans one time.
I know. I was gonna bring up like the one thing, but maybe we'll bring it up when we're with them.
What is it?
About how like living all on like one plot of land, like with your friends. But we're like,
oh, the commune thing?
Yeah.
I would love that.
I would hate it.
But it'd be so fun. I could just come over all the time.
That's why I would hate it. No,
because I would just show up every day?
Because you have no space. Like like it's very hard to say no, because we're like really nice. And we're also best friends, so we could be like, hey, you can't come over today. But it's just like, I like when you lived like 35 minutes away from me, I hated that. But now you live 15 from me, so I'm like, cool, we can probably hang out whenever we're both free. It's not that far away.
Yeah, 'cause it's easy.
I just think, but it's such a big thing now. Like, people really care about it. Like, what would you say? Because a lot of people have said it about like their families, like they want their whole families to do it. Would you do it? Would you prefer to do it with friends or family?
Would we all have separate houses?
Oh, yes.
Just
to me, that's not even a question, because then it would be a hell no.
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like family would be easier to tell to leave if they came over for too long. But friends would be more fun.
Depends on your family.
That's true.
I would do family, but also because I have a bigger family. So it's like, it would be a ball.
Yeah.
But it would have to be like acres huge, like where it's like, okay, you have to like ride an ATV or something
Yeah.
to get to the house. Like you can't just walk you can't walk like 1,000 feet and you're
Like
there.
they're not your actual neighbor.
Like they're basically like I think about it like as our neighborhood, right? So like if you are like we live in the same neighborhood, we don't. But if you are in like your house and
Mhm.
you're thinking about a house that you can walk to at the other end of your neighborhood, like
That would be perfect.
That's perfect.
That's why I'm trying to get you and Missy to move to my neighborhood.
Did you send
so
me
we-
any houses? No. How am I supposed to move there?
Because that will technically be our commune.
That would be fun.
We're getting close. And then we can walk Brady to school because it's right across the street.
I know. You said screet.
I did on purpose.
I did. I wasn't gonna call it out, but I did. Okay, well, we are super excited. I'm getting a little bit better with the polls. So
She is.
we already have, I don't want to bring it up because there's still time for people to fill it out. So maybe we'll talk about it next episode or I'll just post them. Yes.
I just have to call out, somebody wrote, and they'll definitely know who wrote this. We wrote, "What is your ick?" and somebody said men. And I laughed at my desk for at least 15 minutes.
That's
about
because I thought you were gonna say your ick was men on the episode, remember?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I did not want to offend our male listeners because I very much appreciate you.
I think women are ickier than men sometimes.
Yeah. And I only think men give me the ick for anybody who comes at me, and they know what we're talking about freaking cloudy and cumbersome, because I tasted it again and it still tastes like not delicious.
You're wrong, and you should really stop talking about it because we really like their burgers.
I need to try another one. Misty
Yeah.
did generously bring me one and I tried it. It's not terrible, but I definitely wouldn't go out of my way for it, but I'll drink it.
Maybe you just don't have good taste in beers anymore.
Maybe not, but Baldbirds keeps bringing me back. That freaking Slumberjack is
know.
next level.
I know, we'll have to get that. I feel like we should create like a whole list of our favorite local and then do like beers. If there's some wineries that we could do, there's like distilleries that we could do, like our favorite things from these places.
Yeah, that's
That would be
true.
good.
I do love a good distillery, but they're dangerous.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
But so are breweries, so I mean, we're not winning with anything.
I mean, I had a 10% beer, so nothing is safe. And I loved it. Like, was ready to have 3.
The last time I went to Baldbirds, I said I was only going to have 1, and I accidentally ended up having 3.5.
You
But
never
you know what
have
happens.
you never have less than 2.
Yeah. You
Never.
can't not drink 2 there.
No. Okay, well, we are gonna go watch Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah,
So
it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, and then now our Thursdays are Summer House. We are in for it. If anybody wants to chat about that, feel free to DM us, and we will gladly tell you our thoughts on all of these new episodes for these shows.
Yes, we will. And we love you, and thank you for listening to
Oh.
us blabber about red flags.
Red flags, we're definitely gonna ask about them. But I will say thank you, Rachel, for trying to attempt the ending of the episode last week. You did real well, I will say. You did forget one part. All 3 of you did.
Well, I never do it, so don't come
I
for
know.
me.
So I will do it today. But thanks again for listening. Rate, review, subscribe, tell every person you know. And please, if you know anyone that would sponsor us,
Yes.
let us know, because this is the time to tell us. But thanks for listening, and tap in next week.
See, that's what she forgot.
Bye.